So I had a very interesting conversation with a really good friend of mine and another healer, Stephanie Yelovich. She's a tonal Reiki practitioner as well as a professional opera singer, and she's a super cool person. And we had a really cool conversation today about auric fields. And the conversation has made me really think deeply about all of my connections with the universe, my teachings, and things that I comprehend that I think are worth sharing. So our auric fields are connected to so many things. They're connected to how we interact with basically the space around us. So one of the most important things about the auric fields is we are getting information through the strings of the universe. Everything is a part of the strings. So in terms of working with the elements, the strings I've channeled are actually the 8th element because they're infinite. So 8 is a figure 8. It's also connected to the spider medicine and weaving and creating and co-creating. So if you can imagine that these strings are what's transmuting color, shape, form, thought, if they're transmuting all this information to you, and we are all connected to the strings. This is when you hear that we're all part of the oneness. The oneness is the strings. It's like a very, very fine mesh. So if you can imagine an instrument, like perhaps a harpsichord or a piano or a violin, your thoughts manifest your actions. Your actions create a cause and effect interaction with this instrument, right? So that would be to create a sound. That sound sends patterns, vibration, frequency through these strings to whomever you're targeting to. It could even just be in your thought patterns by yourself in meditation, and it will still translate into the strings of all existence. So this is where I'm going back to the auric field, and I think that this is important to be aware of as healers on the journey because we're so empathic, we are so connected to everything, and there's a lot of highs and lows on the journey. In my teachings and the way that I see the universe, and I actually talk about this on a video that I did on YouTube. It's kind of long, but it actually has a lot of really interesting information on alien mind technology, and that's what we're kind of getting into, but in this sacred form. So when your aura field is very big, that means you're feeling a lot. If you're feeling a lot, that means your strings are connected to other people's strings or situations strings. It's like you got your feeler hooks into everything that's happening. And so the objective is to bring all of that energy into yourself. And when you do this, you stop co-creating with the stories of other people. You can just be a witness, you can hold space, you can be a knowledge keeper, a wisdom keeper, but you don't have to have the feelings. The feelings come into the strings. Those feelings connect with memories, and that we imprint a feeling and a memory together, which causes a discomfortable reaction in our body. It comes out in all different forms of disease, like mindfulness disease, physical disease, emotional disease, like all different ways it can manifest when we're taking on other people. And so when your auric field is very large, you're over feeling. So I would suggest to go into a meditation breathing. And this takes time. This has actually taken me several years. I spent a lot of time unable to leave the house. I was really over feeling. And so I learned a lot through this. And what you basically want to do is, with your mind, go into a deep breathing. I will actually have the geometry for this, and I'm going to do a video with the geometry and a meditation probably in the next couple weeks. But I felt this was worth talking about right now. And to bring your consciousness into the center of your forehead. Once you're in the center of your forehead, now bring your consciousness into the center of your head and do your deep, deep breathing. Bring light into that center of your forehead. This is basically your pineal center. This is where you're getting information from source. This is where you're connecting with the photons and the strings all around you. And imagine that you have, let's say, a pair of knitting needles, and all the strings are yarn, and you're taking all your strings back and weaving and knitting a beautiful egg or sphere around you. this is the next level to bringing an orb or a sphere or egg of protection around you. This is taking responsibility that you are a part of the all, and that you're not here to heal everybody. You're here to heal yourself and create such a powerful glow that people around you cannot help but raise their vibration. And another thing that happens when your strings are out like this is that you get exaggerated emotions along with other people's stories. And it can really interfere with your own path, because if we're not aware of that, you start blaming yourself. You go into your old patterns and you're like, why didn't I already dealt with this? Like, what's my problem? Why am I doing this again? And then you feel guilty, you feel bad. Am I doing enough meditation work? Am I doing enough ceremony work? Am I being egotistical? Like, we really doubt these things. But if you take responsibility for that field of your energy, if you take responsibility for those strings by weaving them in together like a blanket or a knitted egg, or I always imagine some type of fabric that resonates you, that's comforting. And if you take responsibility for your strings, your interaction with the vibrations and the frequencies around you, you will find that you can interact with everything that's happening around you without taking the burden of that on. Once you stop taking that burden on, you kind of like, you're rewarded by receiving higher positive energy vibrations within your own self, within your own mind, within your own thought patterns. When you have those higher vibration emotional thought patterns, your light quality goes up and you start healing, and things start manifesting. When you have down days or don't last as long, your highs and lows, there's less in between, and you become this master manifester. It takes work. So trust that you can do this. Trust that you're meant to do this. If you want to go deeper into this teaching, I would suggest checking out my YouTube video where I talk about alien mind technology. And also think of the eighth element, think of infinite, think of spider web, think of weaving, think of the great creation of all, and think that you are responsible for your own experiences. And part of being responsible for that is trying things like what I suggested today. Okay? So I hope this resonates with people. It's really kind of saved my life. And yeah, I'd love to hear feedback if people are working on this or how they feel about what I've just shared, if this resonates with you. Like, this is part of actually teachings that I'm going to be sharing in my quantum holographic Reiki. So this is the next level of Reiki. This is Reiki for the fifth dimension. And I'm really excited to start sharing that. And this is a huge piece. So this is things that I can activate you in and I can teach you in. So if anybody's interested, I'm going to be setting that up. I'm just kind of writing it out right now and planning it out. And I'm going to be doing maybe a little bit live webinaring as well as in person on site. So that's going to be coming in the next couple months. But yeah, have a great day. And if you have anything to share on this subject, I'd love to hear it. Okay, end button.